Today we are flying out the Focke-Wulf 190 A-1, 3.3, pretty good plane. Actually had quite a bit of fun flying this thing, and I got quite a few things for you today. I got a pretty good carry, pretty good representation of the plane in the first game here, which will last till about 8 minutes. Then I will have a 3-minute dogfight with the P-39N. Then we'll have a little 3v1 where I got pretty lucky, but I think it's worth showing off anyway. And after that I got a Spitfire duel as well as a dogfight with an I-16. And if you can still stand and listen to me after 15 minutes, I still got another game in there, 6-kill game with the 190A1 as well. Didn't want to put it in the middle because it's not too representative, because it shows a very good average. I want to include timestamps in the progress bar down below, but I can't do that anymore because I got a YouTube strike, because I apparently promoted hate speech, I'm not too sure why. It's on the TAR152H video in which I got 9 kills without landing. I actually kind of advise you to check that one out, because if you struggle with night battles, that is probably the best guide I can give you for it. But into the game we go. We got 2 Spitfires on a 6 and a P-63 down low, and I just have better performance up here. So what do I want to do? I want to keep my energy. I want to use this energy to get away from these Spitfires, and then use the energy to turn it into altitude so I can drop back down on them. But first we need to extend away. We need some altitude, we need some distance on them so I can actually start maneuvering. Because if I start turning right now, by the time I do a 90-degree turn, he will already be shooting at me, and I don't want that. So I'm just going to be extending away here for a little bit, keeping up the separation, maximizing the discrepancy of speed and altitude. And once I notice I'm starting to outrun them at a speed that's very low for me, I will start turning in. Because by doing this, we are both going the same rough speed. It says I'm going about 300 IS right now, and he's not really gaining on me, and I'm above him. So if I start doing a very gradual turn in a little bit here, he will not be able to pitch up into me. The other Spitfire is pretty far away, so he's not much of a threat right now. And here we go. He breaks off. And this makes it a lot easier, because the other Spitfire is a lot further away, but he also breaks up after him, which is pretty much perfect, because by them doing a 180, they lose as much speed as I do in this 180, but I'm much faster up here. So at that point, they basically signed the death warrant. Make sure you can't go head on by just hosing into him. He tries to dodge it, he doesn't want it, which is perfect for me. And now we get Spitfire number 2. And now it's only one Spitfire up at altitude, and we're going to be doing the exact same thing as I just described. But this time we're actually going to be going through with it, because this guy is actually going to stick on me. And you can tell I'm outrunning him pretty handily here. I'm in a slight climb, still outrunning him. He will not be going over 350 right now. You can see I'm going 350 and I'm still outrunning him pretty heftily. So what do? I just do a very gradual turn to the right here, because there's no way he's going to be able to pitch up into this. And I really can't explain you how to do this in like 2 minutes. This is a lot of experience and it's a lot of trial and error. The best thing I can give you is the energy guide that I made, and if you want to know how to fight more maneuverable planes in planes like this, then I highly advise you to check that one out. It's 20 minutes, but I think it's well worth your time. Spitfire right now, try to turn on under me. Not happening, tries to pull head on, he just does not have the energy and he just simply dies. And that's kill number 2. Second Spitfire is pretty low here, shouldn't be too much of an issue, because at this point I have all the energy in the world. I'm at 5,000 meters and I'm outrunning the Spit. He's on the tail of that BV, so what I want to do is get there before he gets to the BV. So either the BV will be crit, maybe the BV will die, or he kills the Spitfire. In either case, I want this kill, so I'm going to be greedy here and I'm going to be diving on the Spitfire. I don't want to dive on the dudes on the deck, because in the case the Spitfire cleans up the BV, I get a Spitfire above me, and that's kind of the last thing I want above me in this plane. I might be able to reverse it by going very high speed, using my roll rate, but it's not something I really want. Having a more maneuverable plane outrunning you is definitely a bit of a death sentence. Of course, if the enemy is not very good, you might be able to get away with it. But in general, you do not want these planes diving on you. Try to get very close to spare my ammo, get a load of hits on him, and the BV just takes his wing off. Unfortunate, but good ending nonetheless. Speeding this up a little bit, because I'm going to be looking for another target, and a lot of people on the deck at this point. Still quite a bit of enemies alive, but 2 of them are bombers. One is a Spitfire ground pounding, and the other guy is a dude I haven't actually seen at this one. Maybe I've seen him, but I didn't like actually consciously see him, so I have no idea what he's in. Keep looking around because I don't want to get jumped by him. I have no idea where he is at this point. I see a doll on the ground, or low on the deck here, so I dive after it because I want to dwindle these numbers down. Spitfire. Pretty perfect. I want to take this guy down, and I'm pretty fast right now. I'm going about 700, and you can tell that this plane does not care. The compression of this thing is very minimal. I'm throttling down a little bit to cool one my engine down, and one get a little bit more of a firing solution. Use the cannons there. Back on the web, and in a slight climb we go. The Spitfire has no chance of catching me again, mainly because he just flies into the ground. And say I missed everything there, I could have easily reset it and then come back later. The only problem would have been that this P-38G, that's the guy I was missing, would have been right here to 2v1 me. But I probably would have had enough energy, but luckily that's not the case here. I simply want to dodge the head-on here. I have a lot more speed than him. He was still climbing, so he's going probably around 300 kph. I was going about 500, so into this merge I have a lot more energy. And what I'm doing here is simply just making it so that he can't get guns on me. I'm not trying to get a shot right here, I'm just simply wearing him down and draining him of his speed. And you can tell that he's falling out of the air at this point. I won't win a prolonged dogfight with the P-38G if he flies it right with his flaps. But I had just that much more energy that right now I can just sit on his ass. And at this point he is basically toast. Shoot a little bit of cannon rounds, crit him, and at this point he's basically dead. So I'm just gonna hose him with my 7.92s until he dies. And there he goes. And that's kill number 4. The rest of this gameplay is basically just killing bombers. And you can all say it with me, I'm not going to bore you with that. Here's the P-39N. Very dangerous plane for this thing, because the P-39N simply beats this thing all around. Of course that thing does compress a little bit more and the roll is a bit worse. And I have better guns, but other than that, flight performance wise, this guy hands me my ass. I got a few hits in there because he was going head on with the other guy. I wanted to get some damage in, tried to get him out of the match very early on, but I didn't manage to do so. So now I'm stuck in this dogfight with a P-39N. Trying to pitch up after him. He's out-turning me right now, but at this altitude his engine is actually pretty weak. So what I do is go vertical, drop my landing flaps, lose speed and increase my turn rate, and that made me able to pull into his loop right there. Because by going up, by dropping your flaps, you decrease your turn radius and you also increase your turn rate. And with these two things combined, you will bleed a lot of speed, decreasing your turn radius even more, making it able for me to turn into him and crit him real quick. Unfortunately so, he is crit, but he doesn't really seem that badly damaged. So now I still have this P-39 on my 6, and I need to get rid of him. There's a lot of people on the deck, and I need to kill them as well, and I just need to get rid of this P-39. And I can go to the deck right now because I have to kill this dude. Get a decent amount of distance in, and I do this so that I can actually turn around without him ending right on my 6. And head on we go again. We're merging, fake the roll a little bit so he doesn't know what way I'm going, so he can't prepare for the roll. He's gonna get the shot here, so I'm gonna pull up, using my flaps here to again increase my turn rate and slow down a little bit, because I just want to end up behind this dude. Don't want to overuse my flaps however, because by overusing your flaps you will end up without energy, and the lower we go, the bigger his advantage becomes. And there we go again. 20 mil hit on his wing, but he doesn't really seem to care. And these minigun shots rounds, the MG FFMs, are actually in general pretty good. I just got a pretty bad lucky streak in here, because they are indeed the exact same shells as you will find on the MG 151s, or at least the minigun shots round. I crit him again. And I know I just said that, and I know I don't sound very convincing when I just get 3 hits on the guy and he's still flying. He's not even really that badly damaged. As you can see, he is still pretty handily keeping up with me. And again, the lower we go, the bigger of a problem this guy becomes. And here we go again, that's another hit. Something's falling off right now, and this time he's actually pretty severely damaged. Here we go, right on the 6. Hosing with the MGs, hoping to get a fire in. There he goes, he burns up, and that's game. Rest of the game isn't really worth showing. It's a lot of just empty boom and zooming and people not paying attention. I would have used it, but everyone kind of just ignored me as I cleaned them up. And I'm trying to teach you something, not show you easy kills. Here we go again, another P-39N. Again at the same altitude as well. Go head on. Try to get a hit in, try to take him out, maybe damage his engine. He doesn't have anyone near the power this time because he is not above me. And at this altitude you really want to be above someone. That guy doesn't have a shot on me, not really worried about him. get some hits again on the P-39. Should have been a kill, but alas. P-38G on my 6. And this guy, same plane as in the first game, where I said that I need excess energy to deal with this dude. But there's a second trick you can do to these planes, and that's simply going pretty fast, because the roll of that plane is absolutely abysmal if you go above 500 kph. So that's exactly what we do here. Go in a very slight dive, then start pulling into him, so he has the illusion of him catching me. He is of course catching me, he's of course gunning me off, but he doesn't have the roll rate to actually keep up with me here, so I'm going to abuse that. I'm going to stay on his wingtip. By staying in this roll, my roll is going to be a lot tighter than his. And by having a much tighter roll, what will happen is that he will very gradually overshoot, because I can do very wide loops. What he has to do is basically, if he tries to roll with me, he's going to basically straight, and I have a longer path. I'm basically flying around him, and because of that he will end up in front of me, even though I might be a little bit faster than him. In this case I'm not, but that's beside the point. He's going to overshoot right here, dropping the flaps in to get a shot, and then I get caught off guard by another guy, the P-43. Pretty lucky right there, I'm not going to lie. I didn't see him, I should have been looking around more, but at this point it's 2 AM in the morning. I just forget to look around. Even I forget. Yes, I know. Crazy, isn't it? But I'm cutting my throttle, doing the exact same thing as the P-38, doing these very, very wide rolls. And by this he will eventually overshoot. He made a mistake of pitching straight up, and he is out of the game as well. And that's kill number 2. I guess I hit the P-38, P-39. Unfortunately, so I didn't actually kill him. FU1. Another plane I don't want on my 6, and he actually rolls with me, so I can do the same thing as I have been doing all this time, and I have engine damage. He has more energy than me, and he is essentially in a better plane for this position. So I'm going to be very aggressive here in the defensive sense. So what do I want to do with this guy? He's going to be a lot faster than me. The FU will have rudder lockup, which makes it pretty difficult for him to aim, and the longer this fight lasts, the bigger my disadvantage becomes, because right now he's probably going to be outclimbing me, he has a lot more energy, and he's not damaged. So what do I want to do? I want to lure him as close as I can by simply rolling around his guns, because he doesn't have a very easy time aiming here, mostly due to that rudder of his. And he's a lot faster than me, so he doesn't have a very long window of opportunity. So I start doing this little roll, trying to stay just a little above his nose, pull back into his flight path here. He should have started looping, but he didn't actually pay attention to me, and I take him out of the match as well. FU on fire, he's not going to be liking that. I want the RTB right here, but I can't turn right away from him right now, because he will end up right on my 6. He puts the fire out, but listen to that engine. That thing isn't on anymore. So I don't have to worry about him anymore. I'm just going to be extending straight to my airfield, because I need some repairs right now, as I need to clutch up this game. And that FU1, as you can see, is extremely slow, and he's not going to be doing anything. And when I say I have to clutch this game, you guessed it, I didn't kill any of those guys. 3 of them crashed, and another one got killed by a bomber. Fantastic. Here we are, last game, last 2 duels, Spitfire and I-16 later on. I have a lot more energy than this guy, so I should be able to stall this guy out by simply spiraling him. So I spray in the head on here, so he doesn't want to take it. For some reason, he thinks it's a good idea to pull into my rounds, hit my engine, because of course that's all everyone ever hit. But at this point, even with this damage engine, we're at high altitude, that Spitfire doesn't like this altitude, so I just sit right above him here, and I'm going to be pulling over, drop my landing flaps, rudder kick it over, and he's going to be stalling right into my guns. Here he comes. No way he's going to be getting away anymore, he committed way too long. It's the VB trop at 5 kilometers, and let me assure you, the VB trop really doesn't like sitting at 5 kilometers. And he's going to be the last guy. I-16 on my right, same game, a bit later on, because I had to RTB, dove in, killed a guy that was basically not paying attention, and there's nothing to gain from that. I can show you, I got 6 kills this game, but in the end it's 3 bombers and a guy not paying attention. I-16, he's doing the right thing, he's trying to dodge my head on here, but the problem is he's way too slow to do so. I have a lot more energy than him, and I'm on a way faster plane with a lot better retention, so I can just run circles around him, and that's exactly what I'm going to be doing. Extend away for a little bit. I-16 doesn't have any business trying to catch me here, and I can just go into this very, very gradual turn, into a climb, and I end up right above him. With about a kilometer separation, he still has to pitch up. He's not going that fast to begin with, so at this point he's basically at my mercy. I'm right above him. I can decide whenever I want to drop down on him. Make sure to keep looking around. And I'm just a kilometer directly above him. And at that point, when you're directly above someone, the enemy isn't very fast. It just becomes a bit of a death trap for him. Spraying him down, too many rounds. He crashes trying to dodge. And that's the game for you. Here it is, the last game of today. And there's a lot of people in the area here. So I don't really know what to engage. And this FU kind of appeared right in front of me. So I go a little bit to the right to separate myself a little bit from the guys on the left there. And then get a very swift kill on this dude, because I'm faster than him right now. And I should be able to stall him out pretty quickly. And if he dies away, he's gone. He won't be a threat for a little bit. And if he pitches up after me, he's dead. So either way, I win. And then I can go to the guys in the middle. He tries to do a prolonged dogfight here. Just not going to happen. I'm outturning him already. I'm on a 6. 500 meters. Spray him a little bit. Oil leak. He is basically toast. He has to RTB at this point. I'm just going to stick on him because right now I already wasted so much energy on him. I might as well finish him. He's going to go down. And if he doesn't, he's damaged enough to the point where he won't be much of a threat. Going back into the battle here. 2.7 kilometers. Not a lot of altitude to work with. But all these guys are kind of occupied with each other. FU is going for the Key 44. And now he's going for the guys over on the left. F6F on the right. But it doesn't really trouble me that much. F4F I mean, that's why it doesn't really trouble me. F6F would be a little bit more dangerous, but an F4F is a pretty dog shit plane, so I'm not really too worried about it. This guy has some really bad connection, as you can see in his rolling. Now it kind of normalizes, but you can still see that his rolling is really choppy. It makes it really annoying for me to hit. You see that stuff? It shouldn't roll that fast, but it doesn't matter. He's crit, he's gonna go down. Shoot a little bit of cannon round just to finish him off, but FUs are just extremely tanky, and that F4F shouldn't have gone for me, even though he wouldn't have won the dogfight. He had a much better choice going for me than those people on the deck. Who do I go for now? I've got an F4F, a Spitfire, a P-38G without altitude, and a P-39N. And the P-39N is also on the 6 of my friendly. And this makes a very easy pick for me. P-39N is a very dangerous plane, as I stated earlier, and he was shooting at someone else. Make sure to set him on fire, and we just exit the area again. We go straight up, no one in the area here, so we should be relatively safe. Zooming back in, P-38 probably got damaged there, and he's a lot more of a threat than the F4F ever will be, so I want to finish him off, get a hit on him, don't commit. F4F turns right in front of me, take him down as well. P-38 shouldn't really be much of a threat anymore, there's 2 people going for him right now. P-44 as well as the guy he's dogfighting with, kind of forget what it was, doesn't really matter. He's in a 2v1, he's in a P-38 and he's on the deck. He really won't be doing much. And over here I got a Spitfire, with pretty hefty, has some pretty hefty damage. He wants to go head on, I think, dodges it anyway, was about to pull out, but then I saw that he kept turning. And I just go up, proceeding to stall him out. And then I see that thing coming in, the B-18. I was waiting for him. And because I had to change my loop a little bit to dodge the B-18, the Spitfire ends up right on my 6. And now I have to exit. This thing is fast, but keep in mind the B-18 is also pretty fast, and that 30mm is nothing to laugh at. And there it comes, 30mm hits me and damaged me pretty severely in the rudder. At this point I thought it came off, then I rotate a little bit, see the yellow sting is still there, which is nice, but at this point I'm a little bit of a pickle. I can dogfight the B-18, or at least I can try to, but I can dogfight him with the Spitfire right on his 6. So what am I doing right now? I'm trying to get some separation from the Spitfire, that's damage, probably has engine damage, so I'm trying to get him as far away as I can, so that I can try to reverse this B-18. Go away from the way he wants to go, if he wants to go to the airfield, so he wants to break off. Get a little bit more separation in, and there he goes, he goes for the airfield, perfect. And now I can start reversing this B-18. And the B-18 is simply outrunning me because I have to dodge, I have to turn, I have to bleed speed. He's cutting me off, he's gaining energy on me, and that's why he's doing that. I know that the thing rolls very poorly, so that's what I'm abusing here. I also know he has a pretty good gunner. I don't want to go into that either. I don't want to go straight vertical here because he has some pretty good power to weight. the P-18B, which has the improved engines. But at this point, we reached a point in the dogfight where I'm basically behind him. And I can just roll into him. And I'm doing the same thing as I've been doing with all those guys I've reversed. I do these very wide rolls. If they try to follow it, they won't be able to. And at this point, he's basically dead. I'm going to be pulling right into him here and take him out of the match. I'm gunner unconscious as well, so even if I have to go back after him, he's dead. But I don't have to. And now I chase down the Spitfire, and that's going to be game. Damn, my voice is absolutely busted. Had to redo this twice because I didn't save. So, hope you enjoyed it. And I will see you all very soon with either the F-ATC or the B-18. See you all later, and have a good one.